tell you what I was fuming. It was that there was a little kid in front, and those people that were the garbage people that were doing the celebrations of inclusion that has nothing to do with the Olympics. And what they did is they showed themselves for what they truly were. And in front of a kid, some of them were so clothed or non-clothed that everything was hanging. And the innocence of a kid was lost. And the innocence of your grandkids, of your children who were watching, was lost. That's why I got angry. So I share the gospel. I tell you what Jesus did for you. I explain to everyone, and that everyone is a sinner. And everyone needs Christ to save them from themselves, me included. So I'm not judging you. I'm there with you. What people do with their information I give them is up to each and every individual. Just like right now, if you're listening to this, you're not a Christian and you're sick of what you're watching on TV, you have to make a choice. You see, when we stand before God, and all of us, every single one of us will stand before Him one day. The Lord will not ask you how you were in life as a person. If you watched the Olympics, if you were non-judgmental, if you did this, or if you were inclusive, God already knows every person's thoughts, every person's actions. What He is going to ask, and here's the thing, what He is going to ask is, what did you do with the information that I gave you about my son, and about his sacrifice, and about him coming down to earth and becoming a human being and dying on the cross? Are you going to let the garbage in of this world bring your garbage out of your mind and your spirit? Or are you going to have a different GIGO, God's love given out? What God is going to ask is one thing and one thing alone. Like I said, what did you do with the information you received about my one and only son? Did you commit your life to my son? Jesus, did you allow for my son to claim and redeem your life and redeem you from your wicked ways? Did you allow for my spirit to guide and comfort you? Did you share my love with others? That's what He's going to do. Are you going to go with the garbage in, garbage out of this world? Or are you going to go with God's love given out to others? Garbage in, garbage out is not good. Or will you stand before the Creator of the universe, the King of the kings and Lord of lords, and give every garbage excuse known to man because you did not accept the invitation to commit your life to Christ? That invitation that you and you alone will do. Did the garbage that came into your life become the garbage you dished out onto others? Because when all is said and done, it's not going to matter. No, Lord, nobody told me about you. I'm telling you about Jesus. I'm telling you about Yahweh. I'm telling you about God's Spirit. The 3-in-1 triune God that loves you so much that He wants that garbage in to be garbaged out and to bring in God's love in. This is why I say that the next crucial thing a man seeking after God's heart has to be is a made-up man. And I've explained a little bit, but what do I mean by that? Made-up man. Made-up man is, what is a man supposed to do if he doesn't know what a made-up man is? A made-up man, whatever you bring into your mind will become your standard. Let me repeat that. A made-up man is either going to be evil or good. A made-up man is going to be whatever you bring into your mind that will become your standard. Do not be led astray. Evil communications corrupt good manners. This is a literal standard version of Paul sent the first letter to the Corinthian church, and the Corinthian church is exactly like what the United States is, what the Western world is. New King James Version, you may have heard, is do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. But I like this literal one. Do not be led astray. Evil communications corrupt good manners. GIGO was used in the early days of computing, garbage in, garbage out computing, to mean that whatever you coded into a computer's hard drive and software programs would be what would come out. Hence, garbage in, garbage out. The damage of what GIGO is today, I use it for more than just computer garbage in, garbage out. You have to, if you were to close your eyes and imagine the stuff that's coming out on TV, the stuff that's coming out on cable, that stuff that is coming out in social media, on social media, through social media, the junk that we are hearing from our politicians. And that's another thing I got to tell you, and I know I'm going to mention it a couple times throughout this part, but you know that we are getting the politicians that are us. So if you don't like Trump, and if you don't like Kamala Harris, and if you don't like Biden, if you don't like Obama, if you don't like Clinton or Bush, the deterioration of politicians. If you don't like those women that are, they're just evil in Congress, the Senate, I'm not going to tell you who. If you don't like them, or if you do like them, that is an extension of who we are. Remember that. GIGO is a godless, it could be a godless indoctrination in and godlessness out onto society. That is what's winning right now. We know the battle, we're losing the battle, but we know the war is won. But I'm going to tell you something right now, society, godless indoctrination in and godlessness out is going on to society. Case in point, that opening ceremony. It's a microcosm of our culture, of our society, of what we think and of what we do and how we feel. We have reaped what we have sown. It is nothing new. The anti-family and moral ceremony is what our worldwide culture has become. Is it any wonder that the garbage in that our kids and grandkids are being indoctrinated into has mental as well as physical, but more importantly, spiritual repercussions that will be felt eternally? I'm going to say it again. Is it any wonder that this garbage in, garbage out that we saw in the opening ceremonies and that we're seeing in social media, that our kids and our grandkids are being indoctrinated into, which has mental and physical and spiritual repercussions that will be felt eternally, not just in their life here? GIGO is also being used today to tell our young boys, and here's the most important thing. I'm talking to the men, so I'm using the boys, but it could be the women too and the young girls, that they are imperfect. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say this again. Garbage in and garbage out from our indoctrination of our national education system here in this country, in Canada, in Latin America, Mexico, Latin America, and the Western world. The garbage in and garbage out daily indoctrination that is telling our young boys that they are imperfect. Hence, garbage in, garbage out when things like this we hear. This is from the NIH website itself. I am not telling you anything that is not there. It's a Dutch study. Very concerning. The suicide rate of our young people is going up because of the GIGO effect, the garbage of society, of the so-called experts telling our kids that they may be biological boys, males, but that they are not happy because they need to be females, and vice versa. That garbage in, garbage out effect, and I'm giving you where I'm getting, you can look it up yourself. Every time you tell our young boys that they are not perfect, that they could be better, that they're too aggressive, you can take a print screen of that and then look for it yourself. I'm using everything that is on the internet. USA Today, for those of you that don't know, USA Today is not a fan of Christians or conservatives. I'm using their own data. Garbage in, garbage out, that our young boys need to get rid of male aggressiveness. That being male brings out male toxicity. That being male brings wars. That there's no way that you, I'm talking to the females now, when you bring this, oh, don't mansplain anything to me. You are demeaning who God made, and vice versa. For you males that are telling females that they're not worth keeping as females, that their softness, that their nurturing spirits, that their motherly instincts, that their softness is weak, you are more weak than they are. I'm talking to the males now. There's no way that a male could handle going through labor. And then going through the pain of labor, and a year later, the female will say, I want to have another one. A male would say, there is no way on God's green earth that we're going to have any kids ever again. I don't want to go through that. But at the same time, you female professionals that are sitting there and are telling our young boys that they need to be more soft, that they need to be less aggressive, that they need to take that toxicness out, that they are too aggressive when they play sports or they're during recess. God made our boys, God made our girls exactly. Oof, earthquake, guys, earthquake. Wow. I'm gonna stop right now.